I'm tracking the snowflakes to start flying this afternoon as a coastal low is going to move quickly along the weather highway. It's going to race through tonight. I've slowed things down here in the hour-by-hour futurecast on Maine for the view, so you can see the snow bands. Now, the heaviest stuff is offshore, but by tonight late, we start to see some of those heavier bands come through, especially down east. That's where the greatest opportunity for those heavy bands is going to be, as down east kind of sticks out a bit there in Washington County. So that's where the mesoscale banding, a fancy term for the atmosphere becoming destabilized, so it's going to throw those snow bands over towards Washington County. However, a good chunk of Maine is going to see 4 to 8 inches. This wraps up Monday morning, early Monday afternoon. You see some light snow there for Eastport. It's going to end. Here's the forecast. Total snowfall by 2 o'clock Monday. Now, most of the snow ends several hours before that, but that's just covering things Washington County. And that's where it's going to be heaviest. That's where I've painted an 8 to 12-inch stripe. Now, west of that, over towards the mid-coast, central Maine, the central highlands, southern coast, it's 4 to 8 and 2 to 4 up in the western mountains and also the Boundary Plateau. This is going to be a little bit on the heavier side to start off, especially along the coastline. You're seeing the start times here, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, southern coast, heading up towards Lewiston, Auburn, western Maine at 7 o'clock tonight. It ends by 5 o'clock in the morning on Monday for most of southern and western Maine. The mid-coast ends around 6 o'clock in the morning. Heading up to northern Maine and down east, it starts off a bit on the heavier and wetter side along the down east coastline. It's light and fluffy, central highlands, and then as the storm progresses during the overnight, it will become lighter and fluffier with the cold air pouring down from the north. So it starts off a bit heavy and it gets lighter. Snowfall start time is between 8 and 10 o'clock for Penobscot Valley, heading up towards the central highlands, and then it ends by 8 to 9 o'clock in the morning down east, and then a little bit later heading up in the county, more like noon, 2 o'clock up towards north of Caribou, Presque Isle. Here's a snowfall map I made for Massachusetts, and this kind of goes back to the 60s, the Kennedy Inauguration, the 19th to 20th, how there were impacts from snow there, but really this is a 1 to 3 inch storm out towards the Cape, 3 to 6 inches South Shore, and then from Boston, Northwest, North Shore, it's 6 to 9 and heavier out towards the Berkshires. Now, the European model for Sunday to Monday for this storm has a tight cluster now, well off the coast there of Cape Cod, kind of just brushing the Gulf of Maine, heading up towards Nova Scotia. Same thing on the GFS. So that shows you a tighter cluster. That's where one low is going to form and track right here up that boundary, right up the front, and then get out to the Gulf of Maine. And that, with that cluster being right there close to the benchmark, that's why it's all snow at the coastline, except way out on the Cape where there could be some mixing going on. Now, the next storm, right now, I don't have it on the 10-day forecast. It would be an ocean storm that comes from the snow in Louisiana, right? That's going to track all the way up East Coast and get out. Really, at this point, it's too far away to say it's going to accumulate or even impact even the coastline of Maine or Massachusetts or New England, but I'll watch it very closely. Thank you for watching Jason Nappy Weather. Have a great rest of your day and weekend, and make sure to get rid of this snow quickly, remove it quickly, because it's going to ice over as the Polar Vortex comes to town Sunday night, really tonight, into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.